Today we're going to be talking about the concept of a briefcase gun or a backpack gun or any sort of off-body gun that you carry with you on the daily. How's it going, guys? My name is Chad and this is the Hopeful Homestead. As we've been discussing in recent weeks about how I'm trying to implement my 45 Colt single action army revolvers into my everyday carry scenarios, I've discussed in previous videos about how I have a new little 3.5-inch single action army clone made by Taylor's & Company. That's 45 Colt that I've got a nice holster from Falco that is their easy on cross draw holster that makes it specifically designed to be easy to carry in a 10 or 11 o'clock position on your person. But I'm thinking to myself, hey, if I wanted to carry my 4 3/4-inch barrel single action revolver, or hey, even if I wanted to carry my 5.5-inch barrel version, I could potentially fit that in there. I've ended up with the briefcase that I carry every day, that I carry my laptop in, that I carry my everyday camera in. I carry my stuff when I'm going out into town to go to a coffee shop to work on editing these videos that I make for you guys. I carry this particular briefcase right here that I carry, one shoulder briefcase on my hip, or I carry it, crossbody as a typical briefcase. And I wanted to be able to have a way, in addition to pocket carrying, I obviously pocket carry my Ruger LCRX 38 Special snub nose revolver in my pocket. That's with me no matter what, even if I don't have any other guns. That's with me all the time when I'm out and about because it's so easy to carry without any effort. But I wanted to have a way of carrying bigger, more full-size gun, specifically one of my bigger 45 Colt single action army clones. I would love to have one with me when I'm out and about because, again, as I've talked about in a lot of my videos, that's what I'm most proficient with, that's what I'm the most accurate with, that's what I love shooting the most. And something to be said about having that big old 45 Colt, big bore bullet with you when you're out in town. And so if I'm in a scenario where I'm not wanting to necessarily carry that 3.5-inch on my hip in that cross draw holster, and I just want to have it with me, because in my mind, one of the most likely scenarios for me to run into a shooter out in public is if I'm at a restaurant or at a coffee shop or something, and I'm sitting at a table with my computer. I'm on my computer editing a video or something, working on stuff for the YouTube channel, doing whatever I do. I do that a lot during the week when I'm not filming videos or working out here or doing anything else. I'm at a coffee shop or something, and I bring this briefcase and I'll have my laptop out and working on it. And I'll have this briefcase sitting on the table right next to my computer. So usually it's sitting, sitting on the table, and I got my computer and I'm working on it. I've got this undone when I'm sitting there. I might even be letting it sit like this if I'm in like a corner seat and no one can see in here, because this is where this could come in handy. Because take a look, you can see I've got that 4 3/4-inch barrel single action army right there in this little slot. I've got it in a holster so it's protecting the gun from rattling around against stuff in here, so it's not getting all dinged up. But this 4 3/4-inch barrel version fits. You can see the grip, the bird's head grip comes right up flush with the top of this briefcase, so it's the perfect size for this to actually fit in here properly. And so to me, I can have this in here and be able to draw my big old 45 Colt revolver from my briefcase if I'm sitting down and say some thug comes in and starts trying to hold up the cash register, the cashier on the other side of the coffee shop, and I'm, a good 5-10 yards away, and there's a bunch of people in there. He might not necessarily see me be able to reach for this and pull this, because think, if my pocket snub nose is in my pocket while I'm sitting down, it's kind of hard to get to a gun that's in your pocket when you're sitting down. It's not easy to pull that out when you're in a seated position. So if I've got this just sitting right here in my bag, even if it's slightly underneath here, I know I can just reach in and boom, there it is. And I can send one of those 45 Colt rounds right down to that guy's face. I don't know. This is a concept I haven't even really explored yet, carrying a big old revolver off body with me. I wouldn't think I would want to do this if I wasn't also carrying on my person. I would think if you're going to carry a gun off body, you need to have another gun on your person just in case someone tries to steal your bag. Not necessarily knowing you have a gun in there, but that way you can draw your gun and defend your property and yourself, knowing that if they get a hold of this bag, they're going to be in possession of a gun, whether they know it or not. You'll at least have your other firearm out and pointed and ready. So that's something to think about. But I wanted to have the ability to be able to draw a full-size revolver with all the punch that 45 Colt can deliver, and a full-size ergonomics, what I practice with, what I carry when I'm out here on the property. I wanted to have that with me somehow when I'm out and about. I think that's what I'm going to start doing, carrying this 4 3/4-inch barrel with some good old 45 Colt in it right here in my bag, so that it's at my disposal very quickly when I'm So, you know, I can have this sitting in my seat in my car next to me as well while I'm driving. Have the flap open with this right here. Can draw that real quick, can close this up and, you know, jump out of the car if I have to with it. It's an interesting concept that I wanted to share with you guys about what's been going on with my mind of trying to implement my 45 Colt revolvers into my everyday life a little bit more and not just having them be out here on my property with me. Obviously I still do that out here, but it's nice to be able to carry that firepower with you, you know, when you're out and about in interesting ways. But yeah, so what do you think? Carrying a 45 Colt single action army off body, you know, in some sort of a bag. To me, a briefcase presents a better scenario than a backpack. Backpack can be, depending on the bag, can be a little bit more difficult to get into, to draw it from, unless it's designed specifically to conceal carry a gun with. But usually when there's bags that are designed for concealed carry, they're not designed to be, you know, fitting a giant 45 Colt single action army revolver that's got 4.5 inch or 4 3/4 inch or 5.5 inch barrel. You're not, even the 3.5 inch barrel, my wife's version of that she has does not fit in her concealed carry compartment of her bag that she has. It's too big to fit in there. So, you know, those concealed carry compartments on off-body bags usually are designed for real small little guns. And so specifically a messenger bag, you know, briefcase type scenario is an interesting one to be able to carry a gun, a full-size pistol off body and be able to have it quickly accessible and enabling you to be able to carry what you really want to be able to defend yourself with if you've got that split second of time to reach for it and grab it. And if you don't, you still got that gun on your person that you can reach for, you know, if you keep, you know, your pocket carry, your in the waistband carry, whatever that is as well. So it's something to think about. I thought, you know, hey, let's go ahead and share that with you guys, and I'd like to see what you guys think and what you guys do. Do you have interesting ways of carrying guns with you that are not in the traditional sense? And obviously this pertains to the laws and where you live. You know, now that I'm in Florida, when we've struck down the open carry ban and all that, there's no regulation on how you carry firearms here anymore. It's completely Wild West again, which is awesome. This is something I can do. I can do this safely and legally and know that, hey, I'm enabling myself with my workflow to be able to carry what I actually want to defend myself with if I have that chance to be able to grab it. You know, I'll be able to make sure I'll hit that guy in the chest and I'll put another one through his forehead with one of my 45 Colt single action revolvers compared to my pocket pistol for sure. So, and even at a little bit greater of a distance, if I'm, you know, 5, 10, 15 yards from him, I can hit him with one of those revolvers, you know, whereas my snub nose might be a little harder to pull off. So something to think about for sure. But all right, guys, thanks for being here today. Thanks for watching all the way through if you did. Again, my name is Chad. This is The Hopeful Homestead, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.